Hello, this is Mr. Molo for the 1.5 puzzle time, talking about solving for a specific equation. The joke here is what happened to the shark who swallowed a bunch of keys. So let's do the evens, give us a little hint there. So here it says in the directions, we are solving for y. So the equation number 2 is 4y minus 36x equals 28. So we're going to try and get that y by itself. So we get rid of that minus 36x. So I'm going to add 36x to both sides. Remember, since they're not the same, we can't add them up. That cancels out, so I'm left with 4y equals 28 plus 36x. Then over here, I got 4 times y, so I'm going to divide by 4. So y equals 28 divided by 4 is 7. 36 divided by 4 is 9. Well, 36x divided by 4 is 9x. Okay, especially with these then, this kind of helps to have some options over here. So I'm looking for one that says y equals 7 plus 9x. The book wrote it a little backwards, so y equals 9x plus 7. Really the same thing. All right, let's look at number 4 here. We're going to run out of room here pretty quick. Let's do number 4 on a new sheet, actually. So 6 plus 1/3 y equals 10 plus 12x. Same thing, I'm going to draw my line down the equal sign. Here's my y, I want to get that alone. So I got to get rid of this plus 6, so I'm going to minus 6. Excuse me. 10 minus 6 is 4 plus 12x. And then I have 1/3 times y equals 4 plus 12x. So it's 1/3 times y. So I'm going to divide by 1/3. Remember we talked about in the last video or 2 videos ago, dividing by a fraction is really the same as multiplying by its reciprocal. So it's really the same as multiplying by 3. 3 times 1/3 is just 1y. So that goes away. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 3 is 36, or 12x times 3 is 36x. So there we go. Then number 6, the directions were to solve for x. So d equals 5x plus 10xf. Okay, so here's one of those problems where we're going to undistribute because I got 2 x's here. So I'm going to undistribute. I'm going to pull out an x from each of the things over here. So if I pull out an x from 5x, I'm just left with 5. I pull out an x from 10xf, I'm just left with 10f. And now remember, this says x times whatever's in that parentheses. So I'm going to divide by what's in the parentheses. That cancels, so I do it to the right side. And so I end up doing it to the left side then as well. And there's nothing here I can simplify, so that's just going to end up being my final answer. D over 5 plus 10f equals x. All right, and then number 8, kind of the same thing, except we got something to get rid of first. So I got 3j equals 4kx plus 7mx plus n. So you'll see we got 2 x's, so we know we're going to have to undistribute, except we can't undistribute an x from something that doesn't have an x. So we need to get rid of that n first before we undistribute. So it's a plus n, so I'm going to minus n. So I have 3j minus n. And then I have 4kx plus 7mx. Okay, now they both have an x here on the right side. So I'm going to undistribute an x. I'm going to pull out an x. Well, if I pull out an x from 4kx, I'm just left with 4k. If I pull out an x from 7mx, I'm just left with 7m. And then remember, this means x times 4k plus 7m. So I'm going to divide by 4k plus 7m. 7m over 7m cancel. 4k over 4k cancel. Do the same to the other side. Nothing cancels here. Can't cancel out a j and a k. Can't cancel out an n and an m. So that's just going to be my final answer then. All right, 10 gets into an equation we're probably a little familiar with. the perimeter of something. So it says 2L plus 2W. And after that, it says it wants us to solve for W. Okay? So we got to get rid of this 2 in front of the W, and we have to get rid of this 2. Make that a capital L. This way we know it's not a 1. Okay? So 2L. So I'm going to subtract 2L from both sides. Subtract 2L from both sides. So I have P minus 2L equals 2W. Now I have to get rid of that 2 in front of the W. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So my final answer is W is by itself over here. So P minus 2L divided by 2. Okay, last one. Number 12. It's talking about surface area. So surface area is 2 pi r h plus 2 pi r squared. It wants us to solve for h. So h is right there. It's being added to 2 pi r. The opposite of adding something is subtracting something. So I'm going to subtract 2 pi r. 2 pi r minus 2 pi r is nothing, so it cancels out over there. Then on the left side, I'm left with s minus 2 pi r squared. Over here, I'm left with 2 times pi times r times h. So it was times, times, times. So I'm going to divide, divide, divide. Everything except for the h, because we want to solve for h. So r divided by r, pi divided by pi, 2 divided by 2, they all cancel. So divide by 2 pi r over here. So my final answer is going to be s minus 2 pi r squared over 2 pi r. And that equals h. So then the answer to our joke here. What happened to the shark if it who swallowed a bunch of keys? He got lockjam. Get it? Because it's a bunch of keys, and instead of he got lockjaw, not lockjam. Sorry. So he got lockjaw because he swallowed keys, and keys need locks.